So we'll start with the preliminary prayers which are on page 3. And before we start, we visualize the refuge field, which is basically consisted of all enlightened beings, any enlightened beings you feel close to, Buddha Shakyamuni, His Holiness the Dalai Lama. You visualize them in front of you, and you can visualize them as very loving parents who are there waiting for you to hold you with love and affection. And then visualize the bodhicitta field, which is consisting of all sentient beings, especially your parents, mother on the right side, father on the left side. This time visualize that you are the loving parent, waiting to give love and affection to all dear sentient beings. And keep in mind the purpose of the practice, which is to uncover the seed of perfection, the seed of enlightenment, the Tathagata Dharma inside us, by removing the obscurations which are currently obscuring this seed, afflictive obscurations and formative obscurations. So with that, we will start reading from page 3. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Independent origination, there is no ceasing, no arising, no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, no going, no separateness and no sameness. I prostrate to the consummate Buddha, the supreme among all teachers, the one who has taught this peace, which is freed of elaborations. I prostrate to the mothers of the hearers, the Bodhisattvas and the Buddhas, who through the knowledge of all leads hearers seeking pacification to complete peace, who through the knowledge of paths causes those helping migrators to achieve the aims of the world, and who through the possession of omniscience helps the viewers expound a variety of teachings. The one who has transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings, the teacher, Sugata and protector, to you I make prostrations. The one who has eliminated the web of conceptualizations and is endowed with the divine bodies of the vast and the profound, who eternally shines forth the forever noble light rays, to you the Buddha I make prostrations. The refuge in generating bodhicitta. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. Now we will recite the mantra Om Ye Dharma, the mantra of dependent origination. We recite it 3 times in Sanskrit and then we will read the meaning in English. So if you are not familiar with the tune, you will get used to it and please join us. Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava Hetum Tesham Tathagato Yavata Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vadi Mahashamanaye Swaha. Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Desham Tathagato
yavata tesham jayo nirodha evam vadi mahashramanaye swaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum tesham tathagato yavata tesham jayo nirodha evam vadi mahashramanaye swaha.
All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation of the causes as well is taught by the great seer. Profound, peaceful, elaboration-free, clear-light and non-composite. Such is the nectar-like dharma I have discovered. Finding no one to fathom this teaching, in silence I will retire into the woods. Beyond utterance, thought and expression is the perfection of wisdom, which is unborn, unceased, and has the nature of space. It is the object of apprehension of self-realized wisdom. To you, the mother of the Buddhas of the three times, I pay obeisance. The Guru is the Buddha, the Guru is the Dharma, likewise the Guru is the Sangha. The Guru is the source of all. I go for refuge in the Guru. By the sound of the vibrant drum of Dharma, please liberate all beings of miseries. I beseech you to kindly remain and give teachings until the end of the expanse of billions of aeons. The Buddha does not wash the negativities of beings, nor does he remove their miseries by his hands. His spiritual realizations are not transferred to them. It is by teaching the truth of suchness that beings are liberated. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. If you are attached to this life, you are not a spiritual practitioner. If you are attached to samsara, you have no renunciation. If you are attached to your own self-interest, you have no bodhicitta. If there is grasping, you do not have the view. Please turn to page 14, phrase to Shakyamuni. To the founder, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond the foe-destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sudata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be trained, teacher of gods and human beings, to you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. When, O supreme amongst humans, you were born on this earth, you paced out 7 strides, then said, I am supreme in this world. To you who were wise, then I prostrate. With pure bodies, formed supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, fame that blazes in the 3 worlds, winner of the best, Lord, to you I prostrate. With the supreme science, face like a spotless moon, color like gold, to you I prostrate. Just free like you, the 3 worlds are not, incomparable wise one, to you I prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, the fountain having all understanding, the field of merit with qualities like a vast ocean, to you the Tathagata I prostrate. The purity that frees one from attachment, the virtue that frees one from the lower realms, the one path, the sublime pure reality, to the dharma that pacifies I prostrate. Those who are liberated and also show the path to liberation, the holy field qualified with realizations, who are devoted to the moral precepts, to you the Sangha I prostrate. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions, perform only perfect virtuous actions, subdue your mind thoroughly, this is the teaching of the Buddha. A star, a visual aberration, a flame of lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud, see conditioned things as such. Through these merits may sentient beings attain the rank of all-seeing, subdue the foe of faults, and be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed by the waves of aging, sickness, and death. Now, please turn to page 31, which has the Heart Sutra mantra, in the center of the page. We will recite this 7 times together, and once again reinforce the visualization of all sentient beings who are with you, and you are going towards a state of total fearlessness and complete love, with Buddha Shakyamuni encouraging us to go on this path. Dayatha Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhi Swaha 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 Dayatha Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhi Swaha. Next page, page 32, the 8 verses of mind training. So in the 8 verses of mind training, it might appear that it's asking you to put yourself down, but we have to distinguish between the self-referential ego and the self-confidence, and what these 8 verses are asking us to be mindful of is not giving space to the self-referential ego while maintaining our self-confidence. So with that, we start. With the determination to achieve the highest aim for the benefit of all sentient beings, which surpasses even the wish-fulfilling gem, may I hold them dear at all times. Whenever I interact with someone, may I view myself as the lowest amongst all, and from the very depths of my heart, respectfully hold others as superior. In all my deeds, may I probe into my mind, and as soon as mental and emotional afflictions arise, as they endanger myself and others, may I strongly confront them and avert them. When I see beings of unpleasant character, oppressed by strong negativity and suffering, may I hold them dear, for they are rare to find, as if I had discovered a jeweled treasure. When others out of jealousy treat me wrongly with abuse, slander, and scorn, may I take upon myself the defeat and offer to others the victory. When someone whom I have helped or in whom I have placed great hopes mistreats me in extremely hurtful ways, may I regard them still as my precious teacher. In brief, may I offer benefit and joy to all my mothers, both directly and indirectly. May I quietly take upon myself all hurts and pains of my mothers. May always remain undefiled by the stains of the 8 mundane concerns, and may I, recognizing all things as illusions, devoid of clinging, be released from bondage. From my 2 collections vast as space that I have amassed, from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, May I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds wisdom is blinded by ignorance. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Tijalla. Okay, last time we were doing the biography of the Buddha Shakyamuni on the basis of the stanza, the two lines from Pramana Samuchaya, which we read from page 4, the one who has transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings, the teacher, Sugata and protector, to earn frustrations. From this, what we have learned, is that the Buddha Shakyamuni, being a great example for us, to tell us that everyone has the same potential, irrespective of your gender, whether you're male, female, educated, uneducated, rich, poor, or say the social status, high, low. We all have the same potential. We all have the seed of perfection. So this seed of perfection is known as the seed of full awakening. Awakening in Sanskrit is known as Buddha. So we call it Buddha nature. It means that everyone has the capacity to be fully awakened. Everyone has the capacity to become perfect. Okay. The next question is, what do you mean by perfection? Right? Perfection. It can be understood in many ways. Okay. One thing that it would be helpful for all of us to learn is that whenever a specific word is used by somebody else, instead of defining it in your own ways, first let's be a good listener. Right? What other person is referring to by this word? Say perfection. Perfection meaning we have the capacity. What we want is we want happiness, and we don't want miseries. So whether or not we have the capacity to achieve the maximum happiness which we seek, whether or not we have the capacity to shun all the miseries which we dislike, answer is yes. This is known as the seed of awakening, also referred to as the Tathagata Garbha. In English we put it in loosely as the Buddha nature, or the nature of the enlightenment. We all can achieve enlightenment. It is not that whether only if you are a religious person you can become enlightened. Even non-religious people, if they know the system well, how to discover this treasure inside. Even if you're not a believer, you have this treasure of ultimate happiness within you. So the point is how to awaken this. This is the point. Now, in this connection, it is so important that if we gain conviction that I have this potential for perfection, the potential that I have is the same as potential that the enlightened beings have. If you have this conviction, then you will be very happy. You will never feel, you will never hate yourself. Oftentimes people speak about the self-hate. So the greatest failure is when one hates oneself. Nobody can stop you from failure. Nobody can stop you from nobody can stop you from, say, from failure, from being unsuccessful, and so forth. Only you can do it by hating yourself. So this is the greatest failure. So now the point is that if we have a conviction, if you have a confidence that I also have this potential within me, which is also known as Tathagata Garbha. Tathagata means the one who has gone to the ultimate, the one who has gone to this suchness, ultimate. So when you go to the ultimate state, nothing can hamper you, nothing can stop you from all miseries. Okay, so imagine, this is so important. So as I've been encouraging from day one, that we should be very objective in our approach, at least in this class, Tibet House, Nalanda, the diploma course in Nalanda Studies International. So here, feel free to ask any questions pertaining to the discussions that we are doing, and it doesn't mean that I have all answers, right? It is not. And don't feel hesitant. Okay, he might not have answered, so he may feel offended. No, this is not the issue. Just raise your questions. These questions would be a great learning source for myself and for all others who are listening to you. With this in mind, objectivity is what is to be encouraged. Alongside, what is important is that enriching oneself with the information is important. At the same time, gaining conviction in the information that you're enriched with, that is even more important. In other words, when somebody says that, oh, we are equal, so say somebody undermines you, somebody discounts on you, and deep inside you, instead of feeling demoralized, instead of feeling disheartened, discouraged, instead of that, okay, so other person doesn't know that we all have the same potential, right? So this person who's ever being scornful of me, this person, it's a clear indication the person doesn't know that everybody has the same potential, right? And so everyone has the same potential. So with this conviction, even if somebody undermines you, you will not feel demoralized. You will always remain, highly spirited. So this is so important. And at the same time, it's not just that, that everyone has the same potential. Although there is no the same potential is actually not true, but then somebody says it, and then you believe in it, this is also not sufficient. The thing is that everybody has the same potential, which is known as the Tathagata Garbha. How do you know that I have it? We must gain conviction. In other words, what I'm saying is that what we learn, as we learn this, as you are enriched with more information, this information that you are gathering, you must gain conviction, and then you will start finding a tremendous, incredible joy from within, which is so precious. Then, say, otherwise, under normal situation, people can easily go into depression, right? People can easily go into depression, even if you are struck with such a situation. Still your mind remains calm, peaceful, not at all affected by external factors. Such things can happen to you if you really start you're trying to gain conviction in what you're learning. This is so important. In other words, try to shed aside the blind faith. Try to shed aside, keep aside the blind faith. This is so important, right? Okay. Meanwhile, I don't mean to say that, okay, there are other people, the traditions, other systems, and then, so you going from Tibet House, then you start asking questions to all these. I would say be very, be very kind, and be very sensitive to the situations, right? See, only if you are confident that the other person can give answers, then you can ask questions. Whereas if you think that the other person can give answers outside Tibet House, right? and don't just apply what I'm saying, what I'm sharing with you to all other people, right? Then it may create more problem. For example, in your family, in your whatever, right? These problems, more problems can potentially come up. So this is totally unnecessary. Okay, so now with this, the point is that how can I know that I have the same potential of perfection as all the enlightened beings? This is a question. This is so important. For this, I like to give an example of, say you are in Delhi in June, end of June. End of June, what is the temperature like? Huh?
45, 46.
45, 46, right? Sometimes it can hit 47, right? Otherwise 45, 46. Okay, imagine that you go, what? Okay, by the way, this is what I've learned several years ago. When was that? The iPhone 6 Plus, when was that? Which year was that? iPhone 6 Plus. No idea. Huh? iPhone 6, 7 was last year. Last year, no. 2016 was iPhone 6. 16. 16. End of 16 what? iPhone what? 6 Plus. 6 Plus was 10 Plus.
6 was 16, 7 was 7.
Okay, let's say I learned that when the iPhone 6 Plus first came in the market, right? First coming on the market, not came to the market, coming on the market, I learned from one of my friends that so many people slept in the street, right, next to the shop. So I said, wow, it's amazing, what a commitment. Wow, it's amazing. For sure, they will not do this to wait for the gurus, to receive the blessing of gurus, they will not sleep in the street. But for this iPhone 6 Plus, they are doing it. It's amazing, right? Okay. So the point is that you're waiting there, right? Okay, and then the temperature is 46 degrees centigrade. And if you go out to do water, people will not let you in. Get into your own row, your own line. So you're very thirsty. And your friend, the person who's sitting next to you, has one glass of water which is very dirty from Yamuna River. How many of you know what Yamuna River is like? Very clean water, very dirty water, right? Okay, very dirty water, glass of very dirty water. And you want to drink it, you're very thirsty, but you don't want to drink it. It's very dirty, right? Okay, now what you do is that you subject this water to treatment. Reverse osmosis, ultrafiltration. You subject this water to all these different treatments, and finally all the dirts settled, removed, and the very clean water came out. Okay, now you want to drink it? Yes. This is the water, this is how all the mineral water, bottled water that you get from the markets, this is how all this water comes from, right? Okay, now we want to drink it. My question to you, this clean water, it came from where? From the dirty water or from outside the dirty water? This is my question.
From the dirty water.
From the dirty water, right? From the dirty water. But the question is, in the dirty water, before the treatment was given, in the dirty water, is that the clean water? The water inside, is that clean water or dirty water? Dirty water. So the clean water was not inside the dirty water. So what's your answer? The clean water which came out later, was it inside dirty water or outside dirty water? Inside dirty water. So there are two glasses of water, one which is very dirty and one which is clean? Huh? No, it's just one glass. Okay, what is your answer? You have the answer, right? Okay, so before I invite you to give the answer, let me give you another analogy. Let's say a solid black charcoal. A solid black charcoal. I assign you to make it white inside out. Right? What do? You can remove the black part. Remove the black part, what will happen to the charcoal? Charcoal will disappear, right? The charcoal will disappear. Okay, now look at the two examples. One, the water, dirty water. Removing the dirt, the water, instead of disappearing, the water becomes very clean. You get it with me? With the black charcoal, remove the black part. Instead of the charcoal become white, the charcoal disappears. You getting it? Okay, now my question to you is, why the water, when you remove the dirt, remove the filth from the water, why the water, instead of disappearing, the water becomes very clean? Whereas the black charcoal, why, instead of the charcoal becoming white, the charcoal disappears? White. Why? This is my question. Anyone, very quickly. Raise hands. Yes, over there, the girl over there.
Because of its nature.
Okay. The answer is 100% correct, but because that I'm not as intelligent, you should give me the complete sentence. Anyone? Answer is perfect. The answer that she gave is perfect, but I want sentence to be complete. Anyone else? Yes.
Because that's the true nature of the water and the charcoal.
Very good. Okay, both answers are same, but it's a more additional words are there. So with the water, the true nature of the water is not dirty, right? When the dirt are removed, you are separating the adventitious nature of the water and the true nature of the water. You remove the dirt, then the true nature of the water, which is so clean, so pure, it comes out. You agree with me? Good. With the black charcoal, intrinsic nature of the charcoal is not white, it is black. So when you remove the black part, you remove the intrinsic nature. You remove the true nature of the charcoal. Then because the true nature of charcoal is black, when the true nature is removed, the charcoal disappears. Whereas with the dirty water, the true nature of the water is never dirty. However dirty the water is, true nature of the water is so clean. You getting it? Okay, this is what incredibly great saint scholar by the name Acharya Dharmakirti in his book Pramana Vartika. Later on, you must study this Pramana Vartika. In fact, in terms of the book on explaining how do we account for the reincarnation. In fact, except for Charvaka Indian tradition Charvaka, all the Indian traditions like Jainism, Samkhya, Vedanta, Mimamsaka, Vaisheshik, Nyaya, Buddhism, and Sikhism, they all share one concept, which is the reincarnation, concept of reincarnation. This concept of reincarnation is common to all these Indian traditions. Now, in this world, I cannot speak about the universe and the Milky Way galaxy, I don't know, but about this world, for sure, the best book to explain, rationally explain what is reincarnation is the book Pramana Vartika. Pramana Vartika, chapter 2, by Acharya Dharmakirti, 7th century AD. 7th century AD, Acharya, this is the best book. In fact, any Indian tradition follower of any of these traditions, if you really want to rationally explain the reincarnation to the scientists or to any other intelligible people, this book is the best. Okay, so it is purely based on pure the rational reasoning, the logic. It has nothing to do with the blind faith, right? Okay, this is little digression. So what he said is that which means that the true nature of the mind is illuminating. The true nature of the mind is clear light and illuminating. Metal stains are adventitious. This is a beautiful summary. True nature of the mind is illuminating and clear light. True nature of the mind is illuminating and clear light, while the metal stains, metal defilements are adventitious. Adventitious means more like something which is not the true nature. It can be separated from the true nature. Okay. So, our mind, however dirty our mind is, however defiled our mind is, the true nature of mind is never dirty, right? Okay, let's say, now that you already introduced a little bit, and particularly the two answers given by the two girls there, tell me, say, this water, say, which is so clean, and another glass of water from Yamuna, freshly taken from Yamuna, not fresh water, right? Okay, so these two water, one which is just right now taken from the Yamuna river without being treated, and on the other hand we have this water. The two waters, tell me, which is more clean?
This one.
Huh?
This one.
Okay. Both are this. Both are in my hands, right? So which is this? The left one. So this is known as articulation. Right? If you say this, both are this. Right? So you have to say the one in my left hand. Right? Okay, one in my left hand is more clean. Tell me, which is cleaner? The true nature of the Yamuna water, or the true nature of the water in my left hand? Which is more clean? Wonderful, amazing. Yes, this is known as the true nature. When it comes to the true nature of the two waters, there's no difference. You're getting it? But here, the true nature as well as the superficial nature, both are same, both are clean. Whereas with the Yamuna river, Yamuna water, the superficial nature is, adventitious nature is dirty, and the true nature is very clean. You're getting it? So, say the Buddha's mind. Buddha does not necessarily mean Buddha Shakyamuni. Buddha Shakyamuni is one of the Buddhas. Buddha doesn't mean Buddhism. This I told you last time. Anybody Buddha in Sanskrit, it is the meaning of awakening. Full awakening. You're getting it? Any enlightened person who's fully awakened from the ignorance is known as Buddha. Okay, say Buddha's mind and your mind, which is more pure? Which is more pure? Buddha's mind is more pure. Now the true nature of the Buddha's mind and the true nature of your mind, which is purer? Same. Wonderful. Okay. So this true nature of your mind, which is as pure as the Buddha's mind, that is within you or outside you? That is within you. So that is the ultimate treasure of happiness. Ultimate treasure of happiness. If you can invoke this, if you can activate this, if you can unravel this treasure, right, you become the happiest person. You become the most fearless person, right? This is so precious. We must identify this. We must know that even I have this true nature. The true nature of my mind is so pure, right? Okay. Now with this, one very beautiful analogy given, very powerful and very effective analogy given, was that same underneath the very symbol, the hut of a beggar, underneath the floor of the symbol hut of the beggar is some huge treasure. And as long as the beggar does not discover the presence of the treasure, the beggar will remain as a beggar, will continue to suffer. The moment he or she discovers the treasure, he or she is no more a beggar. You getting it? Likewise, we are like this person. We have this treasure inside. As long as we don't discover this treasure, we remain a suffering, destitute, miserable beings in samsara. The moment we discover this, we are no more suffering beings. We are all liberated. Each one of us, we become Buddhas. You're getting it? We all have this capacity. This is so precious to know this. Okay, with this in mind, now, if we turn to the book, The Blaze of the Non-Dual Bodhisattvas, the book, page 7. Page 7, which we already read. We read which says, the Buddha does not wash the negativities of beings, nor does he remove their miseries by his hands. His spiritual realizations are not transferred to them. It is by teaching the truth of suchness that the beings are liberated. Right? Okay. Now the point is how to awaken this seed of perfection within us. How to awaken this seed of perfection within us. For that matter, what we need to know is that the true nature is so clean, so pure. You agree with me? The true nature of a mind is so clean, so pure. Right? Okay, but our minds are not really pure, clean. We can know this in the Sunday, the Monday mornings and the Friday evenings, right? Friday evenings. What is your Monday morning like? Oh, how many of you are smiling Monday mornings? Only one, right? Why are you smiling? You're excited over your job.
Starting off a new week.
Okay, are you sure? Really? All right. They're doing theory and the practice is different. Okay, in your case, the same. Wonderful. Okay, otherwise, Monday morning, okay, Sunday finish, then just look at we don't have to go far away. Just stand next to the highway, look at the people. They face all jobs, right? Friday evening, everyone's glowing. Okay, so this is how our mind is easily affected by the external Sundays, Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Friday and Monday, how they can affect our mind so easily. In other words, the point is that how dirty, how defiled our mind is. How defiled our mind is. Right? Is just, there are so many ways of looking at it. They're seeing this. One is that how weak we are, how weak our mind is. Okay, this still may seem very vague. It doesn't matter. What I mean is how weak our mind is. Means that how easily our mind is affected by external factors. How easily our mind is affected by external factors. In other words, how our mind does not have the freedom. Okay, how many of you have freedom over your mind? Freedom over your mind. Okay, you may have, some of you may be very clear. I know I do not have the freedom of my mind, right? And some of you may be, what is this question? I don't really understand what he's saying, right? The point is the freedom of your mind, meaning that somebody says, okay, come into Tibet house, and someone says, what stupid thing that are you doing here? You have only one Sunday, right? Even that you are going to diploma course without not being recognized by any university. Right? What a stupid thing that you're doing. And then you're in public, right? Okay, what's your name? Shobana. Hey Shobana, what a stupid thing that you're doing in the public. You feel so embarrassed. No? The person just used some words, and these words have a tremendous power to simply affect you so badly, right? So which means that we are so weak. We are so weak. We're easily affected by even the words. Somebody just sort of to come and grab at your shirt and pull and push. If somebody's right, then it's fine, okay, that person's bullying me. Even the words can bully us. Even the words can affect us, right? Words do not have any power, but the words still have. We are so weak that even the words can easily bully us, right? For example, say, if you have to go into the public, or there's the big gathering of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, right? So very recent gathering, big gathering, I'm also excited to go there. If you have a broken arms, right? And your friend who is perfect, they're physically so healthy, so perfect. Which of two of you go there? Who is more vulnerable? The one you with broken arms, or your friend who is physically so healthy? Who is more vulnerable when you go into the crowd? Why? Because you're going to the same place. Why you are more vulnerable? Why not your friend? Why not? Anyone?
Because he's strong. He's strong.
Because he's strong. Vulnerable means you're weak. Why? How do you know that you're weaker? How do you know that you're weaker? When you go into what are the indications there? When you go into the crowd, what are the indications? Yes, over there? You will easily feel the pain. Somebody hits you like this. Hey, my friend, right? Hey, my friend, like this, as a gesture of, say, the friendship, right? Hey, a long time no see, right? Please don't do like this. What a pain. Okay. Whereas your friend, somebody's like this. Wow, you're so kind. It's a kind gesture. Whereas for you, it's a pain. So you're so vulnerable. What do you mean vulnerable? You are easily affected. You are easily affected by the external environment. More easily you are affected by external environment, you don't have the freedom. When you don't have the freedom, you have the loss of freedom. Loss of freedom is the greatest of the miseries. If somebody is to ask you to define what is misery, right? The best way by which to define the misery is the lack of freedom, loss of freedom. Loss of freedom is the final definition of what a misery is, right? Loss of freedom. Now the point is that, okay, so what we've learned earlier, the sound of a clap, do you remember that? Sound of a clap, we did that last time? No? Huh? You don't? Okay, so we did 2 classes or 3 classes? 1 class. So some say yes, some say no. I'm not confused now. Right? I'm talking about the Wednesday class. Did we do that? No. Okay. Now, let's say this is so important. Let's say what we were talking about right now is that the loss of freedom is the greatest misery. Right? Loss of freedom is misery. Okay, let's say the sound of a clap. This sound of a clap, which is analogous to the miseries. Right? This sound of a clap, which is analogous to the miseries. So for this sound of a clap to arise, the 2 hands must be there. The right hand, one hand symbolizing external factors, and the other hand symbolizing the internal factors, the 2 things. Right? When the 2 factors come together, invariably the sound of a clap arises. And the sound of a clap symbolizes external factors. You getting it? Okay, tell me. Say, if you are put in a situation, where you are disturbed by the sound. You are disturbed by any sound. Sound, it disturbs you. It disturbs you so greatly. Right? Just the movement, it doesn't disturb you anywhere. Right? With the movements, it's fun for you. Right? Physical movements, hands movement like this is fun. But the sound, you know that some children, they cannot bear any sound. Even the sound of the rain, they cannot bear it. You know about these things? Right? There are some people, the doctors, you know that? And the doctors will tell us about that. There are some problems. I don't know what label, what is that label? What do you call that kind of problem?
Autism.
Huh? Okay. Autism. Okay. Same. There's these things. Now say you are disturbed by the sound, you are not disturbed by the vision of the external movements. Okay, so this sound is what you dislike. And then somebody moves the right hand so forcefully, are you disturbed? You are not disturbed. Left hand so forcefully, disturbed? Not disturbed. Disturbed? Very disturbed. You're getting it? The sound. Okay. Now sound is analogous to the miseries that we are going through, and this sound invariably arises by the combination of the external factors and the internal factors. Now external factors, how many such external factors are there? Anyone? How many external factors are there which are responsible for your problems? How many of you have problems in your life? Huh? Wow, only one or two. Wow, this is amazing. Right? All of us. Okay, just be very honest. Be very honest, right? Speak your mind, speak your heart. Then this will take us into the deeper philosophy, right? You'll be fascinated that, wow, I thought that I'm not really meant for philosophy, but I understand the philosophy so well now. You're getting it? So this depends on how much you go into the reality, how much you're able to invoke experiences to the best you can. Okay, just give me some examples of what problems, particularly the very disturbing problems you had in your life. Anyone, very quick. Some examples, very quick. So you may not give me the confidential things.
Bad boss.
Okay, bad boss. Okay, bad boss. Yes, over there.
China had problems with the entire education system.
Okay, education system. Okay, education system. Bad boss. And what else? Very quick. The doctor. Health. Like what? Illness. Like what?
Well, precisely a heart attack.
Oh, yeah, heart attack. Okay, heart attack. Yes, this is the doctor's thing. Yes, here.
Vision loss at the age of 25.
Okay, visual loss. Yes, anyone else? Yes.
Having a special child.
Having a special child. Yes, anyone else?
Disturbing images in the media.
Disturbing images in the media. Yes, others no experience. Yes.
Long-term illness of family member.
Okay, long-term illness of. Okay, tell me. Okay, if you don't mind, what's the problem?
My father had cardiac problem.
Yes.
Which he was almost on bed for like 6-7 years.
Yes, then.
So that was really, it was really very bad to see a person who you love a lot to actually go through that for that much time.
Okay, so to see a loved one going through the illness and so forth for a long period of time. Okay, maybe last person, anyone? Otherwise you will not get a chance now. Yes. Relationship problems. Very good. Or family, anyone else? Animals being hurt. Okay. So now why I'm asking this question is for two reasons. One is to wake you up from the lunchtime. Number two is to make you involved in the thought processes. Finally, the class makes no sense unless until your thought processes are active. You're getting it? So therefore it is for these two reasons that I'm doing this. With this, we see that, for example, say in most cases, just observe this, and then finally you will discover the treasure of happiness within yourself. Right? Right? Okay, let's say, how many of you think you will have a problem if we have the diploma course classes happening in end of June? Huh? Right? Okay. The Palash, right? Palasha.
Yeah.
Okay. Palasha is very enthusiastic. Okay. Otherwise, most of us, June 30th, even the AC, I'm just wondering whether the AC is working or not. Right? We may think the AC is not working. Okay. So there, we see that, just believe it or not, just see, be very honest, and don't feel offended, don't feel bad that this is one of our natures. Is whenever something wrong happens, generally speaking, instantly the blame goes outside. Instantly the blame goes outside. Right? Okay, say Delhi, June, end of June, temperature shoots out of 45. Right? And then what? In February or January, what's the temperature?
18 to 23.
No, please don't be too gentle. Delhi, end of January, beginning of February, 4 degrees centigrade in Tibet house here in the class. Number of the people reduces, right? And we put the heating system. Still the number of the people reduces. If it is 18, 25, it will be jam-packed, right? Which means that it's terribly cold. Okay, so we blame one. Why didn't you come to class? It's terribly cold. Delhi is so cold. Delhi is extreme weather, right? We blame Delhi outside. We never say that my body is so weak, I cannot take temperature below 10. We don't say this. We say the Delhi temperature is so low, it's so cold, Delhi temperature is so high, right? Say the places where the temperature is like over 50 degrees centigrade. The people there, they come to Delhi now, wow, such a paradise, right? We never say that my body cannot take this temperature, 40, 41, 42, 45. We never come to, how many of you said it in your life? Right? There's so much problem in Delhi in June, end of June, because my body cannot take 45 degrees centigrade. How many of you said it? How many said the temperature is so high? It's 47. How many said it? Most of us said it. We always blame outside, right? Okay. So the point is that this irritation, that agitation coming in us, is symbolized by the sound of the clap. This sound of the clap comes into being by two factors, external and internal. External, 46 degrees centigrade, right? 46 degrees centigrade, external. Internal, something is inside, right? If you think that, oh, I'm so lucky, right? That I'm not in 50 degrees centigrade. I'm not in 50 degrees centigrade, and when there's hot, I can go to Tibet house, right? I can go to Tibet house, library, so forth. Whatever facility they have, at least there's the aircon there, so I'm very lucky. Like this, if you think that way, then your irritation subsides, right? And by complaining, oh, Delhi is terrible, temperature will knock you down. right? By complaining the daily temperature will not shoot down. And then what happens? Temperature remains the same. And then your irritation, you get free. You know what? Buy one, get one free. One is the problem of the external factor. This is what you get. And what is free is your own irritation from inside, not thinking about the relative nature of the phenomena. You're getting it? So therefore the problems, all problems, and then eventually we will learn one thing, which is so important. Okay, tell me. No matter what external factor is, temperature 50 degrees centigrade, still my peace of mind should not be disturbed. How many of you want that? I should not be feeling agitated, right? My irritation should be 0. Okay, how many of you want it? Okay, say difficult boss. However difficult my boss is, right? My peace of mind is not going to be, I'm never going to stir my peace of mind. How many of you want this? Right? Okay. What about those people who did not raise your hands? You don't mind having a difficult boss? Or how many of you want a difficult boss? How many of you don't want a difficult boss? Just pick the honest, raise hands so that I will know who you are. Okay, very good. Which means that we all don't want difficult boss. You're getting it? Including myself. Okay. Now the point is that the external factors, difficult boss, high temperature, low temperature, right? And say a difficult partner, difficult friend, difficult parents, difficult children, difficult neighbors, difficult colleagues. Okay, we never said that I'm difficult, right? How many of you ever said this in your life? I'm the one who creates problem. How many of you said this? Sometimes. In your life, say of 100, of say 10, from 0 to 10, how many do you say, what rate, what point, till what point you said, I'm the one always responsible for miseries, all the problems, family problems and so forth. From 0 to 1, what is the scale? How many? Eloreji, what scale have you said it? If you say 10, 10 means always I always blame myself. I never blame outside. This is 10 point. And somebody says, I remember one time I said it, which means it's 0.01. Right? And I never said it. No, I never said it, that I'm the one who's creating problem to my family. Right? Okay, which means it's 0. Scale from 0 to 10, it is 0. Okay, if you do like this, it is as though like the whole world is imperfect and I'm the only one who is perfect. Because I never complained to myself, right? I never said that I'm the one who, presence of which disturbs the whole environment. We never said it. Okay, never mind, don't worry, right? Now, one thing that I'd like to share with you here, which is so important, don't forget it, is, okay, say, despite the most difficult situation, say, despite the most difficult situation, say under Nazis regime, how many people went through the Holocaust, Nazi Holocaust, right? And say likewise, such a situation where it is not your fault at all, and you're going through the greatest of the nightmare, right? Even under such situation, if there is a way by which I don't have to surrender to the fear, in other words, I don't have to go through any fear, how many of you want that experience? I'm very serious. Okay, if you're very serious with this, keep this in mind. So today is more like a very basic intro. And finally, for this, we need to get to our more sophisticated learning of the philosophy. The point is that there's one thing known as the ignorance, a subtle, very subtle ignorance known as self self-grasping ignorance. Say somebody puts you in the worst of the most unimaginable pains, right? The gravest of the pains, external physical pains. Still, your peace of mind can be retained and you will not feel the pain, right? That is so important. And for that, the doctors, they give morphines, right? To cut down the pain. In the most extreme cases, doctors recommend morphines. Okay, so there, without morphines, yet without like this, right? Sound of a clap, the pain, which is given rise to by the external factor. Whatever external factor, right? Okay, crushed by the accident, or crushed by a machine, or say whatever, right? And somebody in the right next to the 1 hour before capital punishment, 1 hour before the terrorists do away with you, and so forth. Let's say in the most extreme cases, where ordinary people, they will lose their sanity. Okay, under such situation, how to stop this fear? Even this fear, agitation, so much of fear, the pain of the fear is also the sound of the clap, which invariably is arisen because of the external factor and the internal factor. External factor, somebody actually there to kill me. And you see that it's happening within 1 hour. That is external factor. This could be one of the gravest, the fear and the anxiety, the tension and the trauma that they're going through. And there's the internal factor. If the internal factor is not there, external factor, however strong, however forceful it is, the sound stops. You agree with me? With example, the sound does not arise. Finally, what we don't want is we are affected by the sound. We are being affected by the sound. We are bothered by the sound. We don't want to hear the sound of to experience the sound of the miseries. Sound of the miseries can stop. However strong the external factors are, if you can keep control of the internal factor. What is that internal factor? This is known as self-grasping ignorance. Self-grasping ignorance. This is so important. If you can counteract this self-grasping ignorance, internal factor, self-grasping, counteract this, right? Under control, then however vicious, however strong the external factors are, pain will not arise in you. You can stop the pain, right? This is so precious, and you don't have to believe in this. This is so important. You don't have to believe in this. Just 2 plus 2 equals 4. 4 plus 3 equals 7. You getting it? Like this, you follow the steps, you will get to that experience without having to believe in anything, without having to go for blind faith. No blind faith. Rationally, you follow the steps, you will get there. Once you get there, it's a matter of habituation. With a matter of habituation, with a great deal of habituation, then the self-grasping ignorance is under control within you. Once there is control, right, you are not affected by any external factors. If you are not affected by external factors, you have gained your freedom. You agree with me? If you stop to be affected by external factors, you have gained the greatest freedom. You getting it? Getting the greatest freedom is freedom from the fears of life. Freedom from the fears of life. No fear of life can affect you. You're free from all fears of life. So that is when you get rid of the self-grasping ignorance. How to get rid of self-grasping ignorance? How to get rid of the self-grasping ignorance? Self-grasping ignorance is like darkness, ignorance, which means you don't know. In dark, you don't know what is around you. So self-grasping ignorance is like darkness. Just as to eradicate this darkness, it is best to be done by introducing a light. To eradicate the ignorance, to eradicate the darkness of ignorance, it is best to be done by introducing the light of the wisdom, right? Okay, now the question is, this enlightened being, whose biography we have learned on the basis of the four qualities. Four qualities: altruism to benefit all sentient beings, the teacher, Sugata, and protector, to you are my prostrations, which we learned earlier. So this enlightened being, awakened one, whose the diamond inside is cleansed completely, where the true nature of the mind comes out, like a very pure diamond coming out, right? Say, like a gold. Gold when mixed with the soil. Gold when mixed with the soil, for ordinary people like us, we will not see gold here. It's just ordinary soil. We may dump this. But the gold experts will not throw this. This is so precious, so precious. What will they do? They say there's gold here. But no, how do you know that there's gold? There's no gold, it's just ordinary soil. No. How will this person prove that there's gold there? The person will remove the soil. Remove the soil bit by bit. As the soil is removed, soil is separated from the gold, then the gold inside will start to slowly glow. Right? The more the soil you remove, the more the gold inside glows. Likewise, more the metal stains are removed, then the more the gold inside, the seed of perfection inside you will start to glow. Then as the stains are removed completely, you are known as the Buddha. You are known as the full awakened one. You're getting it? Okay. Now with this, the point is that finally, the sound of clamp, external and internal, Jesus Christ came, Ram came, Krishna came, Prophet Muhammad came, Mahavir came, Buddha Shakyamuni came, Guru Nanak came, Abraham came, Jesus Christ, all these enlightened beings came, but external world remained the same. You agree with me or not? Nobody could change the external world completely. External world now it is becoming worse. Terrorism on such a large scale is happening. Right? Corruption on such a large scale is happening. Right? Cultural genocide, all these things on a large scale is happening, which was totally unheard of, say, centuries, millennia ago. Now these things are happening. All these enlightenments are appear in the earth, but they could not change the external world. So what's the point of these enlightened beings coming on this earth? Is not to expect to change the external world of the two hands. Right? Of the two hands. External factor. How many of you, when you're by yourself, you will say that I don't have, I'm very lonely. We are all said the animal, social animal, will feel, oh, I'm very lonely. When you put it with someone else, you will say, I have no privacy. Yeah, this is reality. Right? So with external factors, if you are A, there's a problem. If there's non-A, there's a problem. If you're by yourself, there's a problem. If you're with other people, there's a problem. So now the external factor, you can't really do anything with external factor. Of course, try your best, but keep in mind that, oh, now we realize with the external factor, I cannot get rid of the external factors fully, so therefore I don't have to really bother about the external factors like making money, earning my livelihood, so forth, that I don't do it. Right? External factors, try your best to get rid of the external factors of suffering. Try your best. But don't expect the external factors to be gone rid of fully. Of the two hands, external factor, trying to make it zero, is just illusion. Try your best to make it less. less. But one thing that you can surely do is that you can make the internal factors 0. That is in your hand, right? But meanwhile, it doesn't mean that external factors just ignore. No, don't do that, right? External factors, make sure that, for example, in the night, don't go around, right? And then places where affected, where frequented by robbery and so forth, don't go to these places, right? Places where prone to accidents, if possible, try to evade these places. So this is how you try your best to get out of the external factors. But don't imagine that you can create an ideal situation where external factors will become 0. This is illusion. Even the enlightened beings, all these enlightened beings came on earth, they could not make it happen. But what they succeeded in doing was to teach us how to get into the internal factors. This is what they have succeeded. So that we can do. That is in the hand. So with this in mind, the next question is, right? Say the internal factor, what you've learned thus far is the self-grasping ignorance. So this ignorance and the self-centered attitude. I am more important, right? Okay, let's say that we are 46 degrees centigrade in Delhi, outside, and we have to wait for, or whatever reason, we have to wait for buses, we have to wait for traffic, but the metro or whatever. So we have to stand outside for a long period of time, and there's one, and there are like say 50 or 100 people waiting there. Everyone is so thirsty. There's only one glass of water. Who likes to drink it? What's the answer? Me, right? Okay, why? Because I'm thirsty, right? Are others also thirsty? Answer is yes. But why you? You have no special reason now. The only reason left is that I'm more important than others, right? This is the only answer that you, which is also wrong. If you say I'm more important than others, others will say I'm more important than you, right? Who's correct? So that way, that logically, it is totally illogical for us, and which is actually the one which is responsible for us going through miseries. What is that? The illogical thinking that I am more important than others. That plus the self-grasping ignorance. For the time being, you may not be able to distinguish the two things so well. Don't worry. For the time being, what I would suggest is you to say at least have these two terminologies with you. These two terminologies. Self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude. So later on, you will learn very clear distinction of what these two are and how to get rid of each one of them differently by resorting to different methods. Okay. So with this the point is that the let's say the self-grasping ignorance, that is what which is one of the factors inside. If you get rid of this factor, all your pains 100% will go down to zero. No matter what forceful external factors are, pain will go down to zero, 100%, right? You don't have to believe in anything. Just try to reach that level. You can reach it through logical learning, reflection, and meditation. Okay, so this ignorance, like darkness, to eliminate the darkness, we need to introduce the light. Likewise, to eradicate the darkness of ignorance, it is only through introducing the light of wisdom, right? So that is to be introduced. Now this wisdom is like a light. Wisdom is like a light. Okay. Now, the job of these enlightened beings is to teach us what this light is, so that our darkness can be eliminated within. Is to teach us what this light is. You're getting it? Okay. Now the Buddha's teachings, we see that the Buddha's teachings, like any other greatly enlightened beings. The Buddha's teachings is to teach us the light of the wisdom. This light of the wisdom. And this light of the wisdom should have two characteristics. Should have two characteristics. One is that this light, if I want to see, if say it is 12 a.m., what is it, 12 a.m., yes, 12 midnight, there's sudden power cut, and I like to simply see all these thunder paintings, and each one of you very clearly, but there's no light, and somebody brings me a very small light, Does this serve the purpose for me to look at all these things clearly, very small light? No. The light must be very bright. The light must be very bright. So one of the characteristics this light should have is that the light should be very bright. One. Now, even if the light is very bright, but if there's somewhere from the corner of the house, there is a wind blowing and the light is very flickery, right? Does it serve the purpose? Again, it's very disturbing. How many of you have this experience? When you were in your school days, preparing for the exam, and the power cut, and you have to depend on the candle, a candle, and the candle light is flickery, and it's very the straining. It strains your eyes so much. How many of you have the experience? How many of you do not have this experience? Okay, the lucky ones, right? Okay, so it's very straining. Your eyes will strain a lot if the light is flickery. It's very disturbing, right? So the light should be not only bright, it should be very steady and stable. You're getting it? So this light should have two characteristics. To dispel the darkness of ignorance, this light of the wisdom should have two characteristics. One is that it should be very bright, and number two, it should be very steady and stable, right? Okay, steady and stable, again we can bring this into two. One is, what is the opposite of this steadiness or stability? Shaky, flickery, right? Say flickery, let's say 100% flickery and 50% flickery, which is better? Huh? 50% flickery is better than 100% flickery, right? Okay, let's say one is the brightness of light, number two is the flickery, 100% flickery, very rough flickery, and number two is stably flickery, right? Still disturbing. Okay, same. So in all, we see that there are this light should have three characteristics. One, it should be very bright. Number two, it should be not turbulently flickery. And even the subtle flickery should be on rate of 3. Right? So this light, which is very bright, is symbolic of the wisdom. Brightness is the wisdom, pragya, wisdom. Right? Okay. So now this wisdom is to tell me, anyone, tell me why we are trying to bring in this wisdom. Why? What for? Anyone who remembers? To get rid of this self-grasping ignorance, right? To get rid of this self-grasping ignorance. So, because the ignorance is a very subtle ignorance, very sophisticated ignorance, the light must be very bright light. So the pragya, one is the pragya. Now, this pragya must be stable, the stability. For the stability, right, perfect stability. For the perfection stability, we need the samadhi practice, mental samadhi. That the mind should be, we should train our mind to be focused and concentrated single-pointedly. So that is known as a samadhi. Number 2. Okay. Now, so in order to reach to this level of the perfect samadhi, that it should not be flickering at all. You should first get rid of the gross flickering, the how this light is grossly wavering. We have to stop that. Okay, so where is this disturbance happening? Disturbance of the flickering or the movement happening? The mind does not listen to you. Mind moves, right? Okay, how many of you can move your mind according to my instruction? Just raise your hands. Okay, how many? I promise you, I'll give you very simple instructions, not sophisticated instructions. I'll give very simple instructions. 2 plus 1 like this. How many of you can follow that? Okay, once you raise your hand, you have to promise that yes, I'll follow you, right? Is your mind obedient to you in that respect? To follow simple mathematics, I will not even cross 9. Right? I can go up to number 5 or 6. Right? How many of you think that you can follow my instructions? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Are you serious? Are you serious? Okay. Now follow the instruction, right? Mentally do it. Verbally, you don't have to say this verbally. Mentally do it. 2 plus 2 plus 1 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1 minus 1 minus 2 plus 3. Tell me, what's the answer?
11.
Wow, amazing. Your mind has been really following my instructions. Wow, it's amazing. Wow. Okay. How many are really confident that your mind is very obedient to you? Okay, raise your hands. Those who think that, again, same thing, I will promise I will not cross the bigger than this number. Okay, just follow, raise your hands. Who think that you can follow my instructions? Which means that your mind should be listening to me, right? Your mind should be listening to you to listen to me. Are you ready? Okay. 2 plus 2 plus 1 plus 3 minus 1 plus 2 minus 3 plus 3 plus 2 minus 1 plus 3 plus 4 minus 3 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3. What's the answer? Okay, now no answer. What happened? Hey, be louder. What happened? Your mind is not your mind could not follow my instruction. Yes, no? Your mind could not listen to you.
Yes.
Your mind cannot follow my instruction. Why? Because my instruction is fast. Your mind is not fast. Your mind is very lazy. You got it? Which means that this is how our mind is so lazy and not ready to listen to your instructions. You're getting it? Okay, now we have to train our mind. This is not your true nature of your mind. This is not the true nature of your mind. The reason is it's not the true nature of mind. Right? The mind being very laid back, right? This is not your true nature of mind. Your mind is so fast. The true nature of mind is so fast. Okay, for that matter, how to train it? You have to train your mind to listen to you first. To listen to you first. And how do you know that the mind behaves? For you to train your mind, you have to know how the mind behaves. How do you know the mind behaves? What are the symptoms? Anyone? What are the symptoms of how your mind behaves? Distractions? Perpetual change. How do you see the perpetual change in the mind? Okay, how do you know that your different thoughts are coming? Okay, what I'm saying is that, okay, my mind is not behaving so well, right? How do you know that? Right?
When you want something,
hey, meditate for 1 hour. Don't move your body. Then you like after 5 minutes you do like this. You know, you stretch your body like this. That's what like you have meditated for 2 hours. It's just after 5 minutes, right? This is how our mind behaves. How the mind behaves is expressed through body, speech, and mind. You're getting it? Right? Okay, you tell me. Okay, we are good friends. And you say, but you didn't listen to me. You also don't listen to me. Right? This is how you fight. First you say, oh, we are good friends. Then you say yes. But last time I asked you for a favor, but you didn't. But you didn't do it. The moment somebody accuses you, you just instantly your mind reacts like a fire, right? So this is how your mind behaves. How do you know that your mind is so aggressive? It is expressed in physical, verbal. You agree with me? Okay. So how do you, for example, say how many of you, when you have a little bit of quarrel or fight, you bang against the table? How many of you banged? Ever did that in your life? Bang against the table? Or bang to slam the door? Okay. What made you to slam the door? Why? With the slamming the door, your mind becomes more happy? Or the other person calms down? Or magically the environment becomes better? No. Right? Why do you slam the door? This is an indication of the roughness of our mind. You agree with me? Right. So the roughness of mind is demonstrated in the physical. And say, doesn't be kind to us, other people. Then you go out and says, okay, who's going to have this water? Okay, I learned from my mother that I should be kind. Okay, you, right? And then you are, that was when you are 20% thirsty. When you're 80% thirsty, who's going to have this water? My mother said, be kind to us. It's very stupid. I will have it. So this is how your mind, what is your mind? The degree of a kindness is displayed in your external expressions. Likewise, verbal expressions. Those who are extremely kind, they are so mindful of what they speak. For example, say, right? Okay, Vivek and Shobana. Vivek is Shobana. Okay, let's say, let me say, the Shobana and non-Shobana, because the moment I bring two real persons, this is a problem. Okay, there's a Shobana and non-Shobana, right? Lady Shobana and lady non-Shobana. Two of them did a school performance, and Shobana was the one who was the top, the best performer that evening, right? So next day you, Lady Shobana and Lady non-Shobana too came to see me. Look, how would you grade me? How would you grade me as a sensible person or a non-sensible person? Shobana, wow, congratulations, you are so good, you are the best person. Yesterday, other person was also the performer. Right? You are the best one. All others, I don't say all others, but you are the best one. Amazing. You are the outstanding, which means others are hopeless. The person sitting next to you is hopeless. I'm totally not at all sensitive to who the other person is. In the while, with the intention to praise, make Shobana happy, I'm making the other person unhappy. Is this a sensible person or non-sensible? Very insensitive person. You're getting it? This is what oftentimes we do. We are not at all sensitive to the other sentiments this way. You're getting it? So these are how our mind is so spoiled. Our mind is so spoiled, our mind does not know. It has the capacity to see all these nuances and the sensitivities, but our mind is never trained. So what degree, in what way our mind is not trained, right? Very easy. Our mind, right? Within our mind, we see that our mind can be classified into three groups. Mind which dictates my physical expression. Mind which dictates my verbal expressions. Mind which dictates my mental actions. You agree with me? Okay. Now, say the moment someone says that, okay, meditate for half an hour, meditate. Someone says, what a stupid guy you are. What are you doing here? Like a rabbit sitting here, right? You become so angry, right? You become so angry. Somebody says, hey, what are you doing? You are supposed to meditate. What meditation, right? Okay, so there, which means that you don't have the control of your physical actions. Where are you going wrong? Mind, which dictates the body, which dictates the physical actions, is not trained. It's totally spoiled. This mind which dictates a physical action is totally spoiled, it's not at all trained, it's so wild. This is one problem. Then behave well, right? Don't physically act like this. Okay, yes. Meditate for half an hour. What a stupid guy you are doing here, you stupid, right? The other person told me, you stupid. Otherwise, usually what I do, I stand up and go to fight, fist fight. Now, I control my physical, because my mother told me, never physically act. Okay, yes. And the other person says, you are stupid, and you are stupid. This is my response. Which means that, although physically I'm controlled, by verbal I'm not controlled. Right? Okay, verbal is not controlled, number 2. Right? The mother says, well, I told you to behave well, but mother, you told me to behave physically well. Right? Next time, no, physical, verbal, both. That third time, hey, you're stupid. The other person come again, tell the same thing. You're stupid. So mentally, what happens? Physically, you stop. Verbally, you stop. Mentally, you're stupid. It's already came in your mind. It's very what? It's very spontaneous, right? Mentally, tell me. Say, physically, you standing up, banging at the table, going to fight with the person, 1. Number 2, verbally say, you're stupid. Number 3, mentally, you're stupid. Of the 3, which is the easiest to be controlled? Huh? Tell me, of the 3, which is the roughest? Which is the grossest? Physical. What is next? Wonderful. What is next? Mental. Okay. Of the 3, which is most difficult to control? Very good. Which is second most difficult to control? Verbal, right? And what is next? The grossest one is easier to be controlled, right? Okay, now of these 3 things, the mind, which dictates your physical actions, which dictates your verbal actions, which dictates your mental actions. Of the 3, we classify the physical and verbal together, and we classify the mental together. In other words, say, in order to make this mind stable, make this mind steady, the light very steady, this light is none other than your own mind. This mind must be under control. You're getting it? How do you know that this mind is under control or not? Look at the symptoms, physical, verbal, and mental actions. You're getting it? Now, of the 3, which are the easiest ones to be under control? Physical, the mind which dictates the physical, mind which dictates the verbal. Okay, so the subtle one is mind which dictates the mental actions. So the mind which dictates mental actions, to train that, the training this mind which dictates the mental actions, this is known as the practice of samadhi. The practice of samadhi. With all the meditation exercises, single point meditation exercises, practice of samadhi, it is to control the mind which dictates the mental actions. Now, this is on a very subtle one. In order to say, if the water is, if you want a very clean water, and the water that you have, there are two water there. There are 2 glasses of water. One is 100% dirty. Second one is 50% dirty. Third one is very pure. What you want is the water which is so pure, right? Okay. So, but the third one is empty. You only have the choice between the first one, which is 100% dirty, number 2, which is 50% dirty. Which of the 2 will you pick up in order? So for sure, if you keep it for a long time, the dirt will settle and eventually become 100% clean, right? So which of the two water will you pick up in order to make 100% clean, the 100% clean? 50% dirty or 100% dirty?
50%.
50% dirty, because 50% is already settled, right? So in order for to maintain a very refined control of the mind, first you should have the control of the physical and the verbal. You're getting it? So training the mind to control the physical and verbal is known as the practice of morality. Training the mind to control your physical and verbal actions is known as the practice of morality, or shilla, practice of shilla. Okay, so with this we come to realize that this light is required, very bright light is required. This is pragya, the practice of pragya, practice of wisdom. And this light must be very steady. The steadiness has to be developed in two processes, in 2 steps. The first one, bring the control, the steadiness of the mind on the grosser level, physical and verbal. That practice is known as practice of shila, practice of morality. And then once the gross control, you control your mind, which acts on the physical and verbal. When that is under control, then you can go into the mental. That practice is known as samadhi, right? So we have the practice of shila, practice of samadhi, and the practice of pragya. With these 3 things intact, what will have? You will have a very bright and a very steady light. This very bright and steady light has the capacity to get rid of the darkness of the ignorance. Once the darkness of ignorance is eradicated of the 2 hands, internal hand is gone rid of. Once the internal hand is gone rid of, then external hand, however strong, external, the sound of the misery stops. So you are disturbed by the hand, or you are disturbed by the sound? You are disturbed by the miseries, not by the external factors. If you are not disturbed, no matter what external factors is, there is no difference. So therefore your miseries will come to an end. Now, this is whole journey. We all recite this mantra, Gade Gade, Para Gade, Para Samgade, Bodhisattva. We recite this mantra, which means that this mantra, the meaning is very secular in nature. It means don't remain in the fears of samsara, right? Your mind at the moment, it is very defiled. But the true nature of mind is not defiled, it's so pure, right? Now, why don't you meet? Why don't you meet with your true nature of your mind? Why don't you unravel the true nature of the mind? How to make the true nature of the water come out? How to make the true nature of the water come out? By removing the dirt, by purifying it, removing the dirt. Likewise, we have to remove the dirt of the mind, so that true nature of the mind will come out. So, how many faces? What are these dirts? These dirts are the self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude. These are the 2 dirts that we have to get rid of. And these 2 dirts can be gotten rid of in steps. There are 5 steps. Gati, second Gati, third Paragati, fourth Parasangati, number 5 Bodhi Swaha. So these are the 5 steps through which you remove the metal dirts. As you remove the metal dirts, like the gold, remove the soil from the gold, bit by bit, then the gold inside start to glow. Likewise, the true nature of mind will start to glow, right? You become happier, 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 more and more fearless, right? Okay. So then, eventually what happens, when the metal dirts are fully removed of the 2 hands, one hand, internal hand, is totally removed. Now, however vicious, forceful the external factors are, the sound of the misery stops. Which means that your peace of mind, Even if you say you are in your meditation, you're just resting, somebody says the worst thing to you, right? Your peace of mind is never stirred. So you are not vulnerable anymore. You are not affected by external factors anymore. So that's the point. You have gained your total freedom. Gaining total freedom is known as nirvana or nibbana. Right? This is the total pacification, total peace, which in the Theravada tradition it is known as nibbana. With Sanskrit it is known as nirvana. Same, right? Okay, this is, now the point is that so finally, if somebody is to really help you, if somebody is really helping you, the one came, okay, this is very simple, you know that, right? Somebody gives you, say, when you, okay, I'm in need of 1,000 rupees, the person gives you. Oh, I'm not hungry, the person wants to give you food, right? Whenever you're hungry, the person gives you food, this is how the other person helps you. Another person does not give you anything. Other person only teaches you how to earn your own money. Which is more helpful? The person who teaches you how to earn money, right? Okay. So likewise, anyone who teaches you how to activate this light, very bright light, on the basis of the steadiness, the two steadiness, the practice of the samadhi, practice of the shila, and the pragya. Anybody who teaches you how to ignite this light, that is the one who is your best friend. That is the best of your friends, right? Okay, so gate, paragate, parasamgate, bodhiswa. So what exactly are these 5 steps? This we will learn later, not now, right? Okay, now the person who teaches you this light, the Prince Siddhartha, from continuation from the last class, Prince Siddhartha, after 6 years of looking for this, becoming teacher, experiencing Sugata, and then eventually going out to benefit all beings, protecting all beings. So there, in what way he protected the beings? So we turn to page 7. Page 7 of the book. The second stanza is reads, the Buddha does not watch the negativities of beings, right? It is not that Buddha pour some water on your body, then your negativities disappear, right? If that is happening, we are so lucky, right? Then we don't have to put any effort, but it never happened, right? If it is as easy, then nobody should be suffering now. But this is not reality. Number 2, nor does he remove the miseries by his hands. Say, for example, if you have the thorn pricking you, then your mother will come and remove the thorn like this. Your miseries, the Buddha comes and remove the miseries like this. Nobody could do this on this earth. Nobody could do this. Right? If this is something what somebody can do, by now, who should be suffering now? Nobody should be suffering now. But the fact is that the suffering, if not increasing, for sure it has not decreased. Number 2. Number 3, his spiritual realizations are not transferred to them. It's not that, oh, I have now seen the wisdom. I have now seen the wisdom. Okay, I'll share my wisdom with you, right? Each one of you, your darkness, ignorance is gone. Now of the 2 hands, one is removed from you. You don't put any effort. It never happened, right? So his spiritual realizations of the wisdom are not transferred to them. So then how does it help us then? It is by teaching the truth of suchness. Truth of suchness what? The light of the wisdom. The light of the wisdom. It is teaching the truth of suchness, the light of the wisdoms, that the people, they learn it. After learning this, then they practice it, then they see that the wisdom is ignited within yourself through your effort. Right? You can learn from the Buddha, but you have to put the practice yourself. Right? put the effort yourself, and then the light is ignited within you. As the light is ignited, then the darkness is dispelled, gone, right? Okay, this is how the beings are liberated from the fears of samsara, right? Okay, so this light, okay, now let me say this. So the Buddha, it is only through his teachings, given that these are the three things which can help the beings. These are the three things. What? Pragya, Samadhi, and Shil. From bottom, Shil, Samadhi, Pragya. It is only through these three things taught to us that the beings with concerted effort, they practice this, and the light is ignited with the stability, and the darkness is eliminated, and the beings are liberated. If this is how the beings are liberated, then what are his teachings? This question. Now that it becomes very easy. Finally, what we want is, we want three things: the Pragya, Samadhi, and Shil. Right? So his teachings should be on these three topics. You agree with me or not? Right? So his three, if he appear on this earth to help us, so his teaching should be touching on these three areas. So any teaching of the Buddha which teaches on Shila, it is known as Vinaya. Right? Okay, say there are three containers. There are three containers. Container for honey, and container for jam, container for butter, let's say. Container for honey, jam, and butter. There are three containers. Three containers means there should be three different contents. Yes? Okay, so the same Shil, Samadhi, Pragya, these are the three contents. Shil, Samadhi, and Pragya, these are the three contents. And the teachings which teach on these three topics, they are the containers. Right? So the teaching which teaches on Shila is known as Vinaya. And the teachings which teaches on the Samadhi is known as Sutra. Teachings which teach the Pragya is known as Abhidhamma. Right? Okay, now we have, what are the three teachings? Vinaya, Sutra, and Abhidhamma. And what are the contents? Three contents? Shil, Samadhi, Pragya. Okay, so this is what we need to know. The three teachings. The three teachings, they are known as the three baskets of the Buddha's teachings. What are the three baskets of the Buddha's teachings? Vinaya, Sutra, Abhidhamma. Right? Okay. So these three baskets in Sanskrit or in the Pali is known as Tripitak. Tripitak. Right? Tripitak. Okay. Now, I'd like to share one thing with you which is so important, and we'll stop here. Okay, I'll share one with you. The wisdom. Okay, tell me once more. Somebody already gave the correct answer earlier. My question to you is, why do we have to ignite the wisdom? Why do we have to ignite this wisdom? Anyone?
To remove the ignorance.
To remove the darkness of the ignorance. Very good. To remove the darkness of the ignorance. Very good. Okay, this ignorance, how do we know that the ignorance is there? At the moment we may not know. But they are the symptoms. What are symptoms? Any negative emotions arising us in our life. How many times, or said, how many of you have ever experienced negative emotions? Such as attachment, anger, jealousy, competitiveness, and so forth. How many of you have never experienced any negative emotions? How many of you had the experience of negative emotions? Okay, anytime the negative emotions arise, including fear, right? Self-grasping ignorance is the fabric. It must be there. self-grasping ignorance should be like the self-grasping ignorance should be like the iceberg, right? In the North Pole, people build the igloo, right? Huh? Igloo. The people build the igloo where? On the land or on the ice? On the ice, because there's ice everywhere, right? Okay. And oftentimes people also build the igloo on the iceberg, right? There's no difference. Iceberg. Okay. All the negative emotions, including fears, they are like the castle built on the iceberg. Iceberg of ignorance, right? They are like the castle built on the iceberg of ignorance, which means that where you see the castle, North Pole, you can take for granted that at the base is ice. You're getting it? Okay, now where there is the negative emotions arising, underneath, what underscores that is the self-grasping, eyes of the self-grasping ignorance. It is there. You're getting it? Although we may not be able to identify what the self-grasping ignorance is at the moment, but it is there. Later on we learn this. It is there. Now, this ignorance, the symptoms of this ignorance, how strong are they? How strong are they? How intense are they? The symptoms of the ignorance, for example, say anger, right? Right? And you think that, say you go back home, right? And then somebody tells you, your name again? Shakyamuni, where did you go? Right? Oh, I went to diploma, Nalanda diploma course. What is Nalanda diploma course? It's about compassion and wisdom. What compassion and wisdom? You have never changed. Right? You joined this Nalanda diploma course, right? Since the Wednesday, and no change. It's the same person. Right? It's as though like, say, you take the tuberculosis medicine, they're expecting you to be changed to tomorrow. You should, the doctor will know this, right? That you're expected to remove, that you are free from tuberculosis the next day. This is the expectation, right? Okay, they say like this, then what is your reaction?
Not possible to change.
No, if you're in public, right? If you're in public, your happy birthday, right? And there's all your friends coming, and somebody says, "Oh, Shakyamuni, I heard that you were going somewhere to some Tibet, something what, to some place. Oh, what have you been going there? Oh, wow, it's amazing. Nalanda diploma course, amazing. What amazing? What you learn there about compassion? But you're the same person." Right? No change there. What's the point of going there? In public, that too on your birthday. Right? What's your reaction? Then you may ask your Nilashaji, should have become angry? Yes, of course. It's your birthday. It's just spoiling your birthday. Right? Okay, let me meditate on anger. Is this how you're going to anger? How going to have the anger, or it just bursts like this? It bursts out spontaneously. Nobody has to teach you, right? Hey, Shakyamuni, anger, you must now demonstrate anger, right? It's so spontaneous. We are so expert. High quality anger, right? It comes out, right? It comes out. Okay, so this anger is to be subdued by what? Wisdom of emptiness. And what is the wisdom of emptiness like? Hey, Sunday we have a class. Wisdom of emptiness is still not there, right? There is a remedy. Remedy still not come. And Sunday actually the class comes, right? Right? Okay, then the class finished. We just learn the label, wisdom of emptiness. It is like, okay, I'll give you a pizza and I'll give you a label pizza, right? Each one of you. And you go home. No pizza, just a label, right? Okay, so like that, we go, and the wisdom emptiness, when will the wisdom emptiness come to us? This question, right? So the opposite is so effective. High quality, anger, attachment, jealousy, competitiveness, fear. They have high quality, right? Negative force is so high quality, and the positive force, wisdom, emptiness. We have to send emails, right? Hey, the class is happening next Sunday, right? Or should I go, not go? Wisdom, emptiness, should I go, not go? This is still far away. You're getting it? Now the point is that negative forces are bombarding us, bullying us intensely and spontaneously. Whereas the positive force is nowhere, it's far away, it's too far away, right? Okay, let's say that you completed your Nalanda diploma course, and then finally you're entitled to join what? Nalanda master's course, right? And then you study the text, or this one. This is one of the texts, very important text which you're going to learn, right? Commentary on the wisdom of emptiness. Right, you learn this, and then finally you get some understanding that everything's like a dream, right? It's amazing. Okay, let's say this wisdom, is it that you get the first wisdom and then suddenly the negative emotions, they dissolve like this? No. Negative emotions are as active and forceful as they are. Right? Now the positive side, it has to take steps, slowly take steps to improve, slowly improve. Okay, so if this is how it's happening, it's really hopeless. No, there's hope. There's hope. But whether you say it's hopeless or hopeful or whatever, it has the steps. It has steps. What steps are there? 3 steps. For the wisdom, the counter force, 3 steps. One is wisdom derived through learning. Number 2 is wisdom derived through reflection. Number 3 is wisdom derived through meditation. 3 wisdoms. Wisdom derived through learning, wisdom derived through reflection, wisdom derived through meditation. 3. Right? These 3 wisdoms we must cultivate these 3 wisdoms in steps. In steps. Okay, what do you mean by wisdom derived through learning? What do you mean by wisdom derived through reflection? And what do you mean by wisdom derived through meditation? Okay, let's see. First, wisdom derived through learning. Wisdom derived through learning. Okay. How many of you have heard the very famous equation, E equals mc squared? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow, most of you. Wonderful, amazing. How many of you know the derivative of this equation? 1. Okay. Tada Jaji. Okay, only 1, right? Okay. I remember myself having learned this equation when I was in class 11. 11, when many of these young boys and girls were not born. That was back in 1986, I think. How many of you are not born in 1986? Raise your hands. Okay, many of you. Okay, so 86, I learned this with the equation, E equals mc squared. Now, even now I know this. I know this equation. What is the Albert Einstein equation? I would say E equals mc squared. Right? But how do you really know how E equals mc squared? I have no clue. This is known as, say, if somebody asks me, if you are asked that he's saying that Albert Einstein's famous equations is E equals mc squared. Is this correct? My answer is correct or not correct? It's correct. It's correct. It's a form of wisdom. But this wisdom, I don't have the conviction. I don't have the conviction. It is just a borrowed knowledge. I borrowed from Albert Einstein. Right? It is not my knowledge. I borrowed it and I just mimic it. I mimic it correctly. That's it. So this is known as the wisdom drawn through learning. You learn from others, that's it. You don't have the conviction yet. Okay. Now, okay. Say, what is the next wisdom? Wisdom drawn through? Reflection. Wisdom drawn through reflection is what you've learned. Whatever you have learned, you subject this to analysis. You subject this to analysis to see whether it makes sense. Right? To see whether it makes sense. The first time you're convinced, that, wow, that's very true, E equals MC square. That's very true, right? Very true. Right? How do you know this? I know this. You don't have to quote Albert Einstein now, right? You know this. I know this equation, how this derived. I know this so well. So that is the first time you gain the conviction. That is known as the wisdom drawn through reflection. Through reflection, you gain the conviction. Okay. Okay. Say, okay, now, how many of you have the conviction in 2 plus 2 equals 4? How many have conviction? Okay. Those who did not raise your hands, I know that I do have the conviction, but it's so easy, why should I raise my hands? Yeah, you thought like this. Okay, you have the conviction. Now tell me, right, what is next? What is next? Wisdom drawn through meditation, right? Okay, so exercise which we did earlier. Exercise which we did earlier, right? We will do it again. Okay, ready? 2 plus 2 plus 1 plus 3 plus 1 minus 2 plus 1 plus 2 plus 2. What's the answer?
12.
Wow, it's amazing. Okay, you got the answer. Very good. Which means that you have the conviction. Did you have the conviction? Did you have the conviction in the answer that you gave? Or you just mimic someone else? No, you have the conviction. That is the wisdom drawn through reflection. Right? Okay, now the third one. Okay, do it again. Let's do it again. Ready? 2 plus 2 plus 1 plus 3 plus 4 plus 1 plus 2 minus 3 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 minus 1 plus 2 plus 3 minus 1 plus 2 plus 3. What's the answer? Okay, which means that you're lost now. Okay, why you cannot give the answer? It's too fast. You did not say that I'm slow. You did not say that my calculation is slow. You said you are fast, right? This is a problem. Right? So you should have said that I'm slow. When you say that I'm slow, then you will think of improving, making it fast. If you say that you are going fast, then you are expecting me to slow down. You will never improve. You're getting it? So instead you have to say that I'm slow. If I'm slow, then what do you see? What do you think of doing? I should make faster. You're getting it? How to make fast? How many of you can speak English without thinking? Right? We all can speak English. Right? Okay, how many of you speak the Hindi without thinking? Very likely, except for me. And when I was in school, I always failed in Hindi. Terrible. I spent the most of my time on Hindi. Before the exams, always failed. One time I passed, even that was not because of the proper pass. Actually, it was fail. Somehow I got pass. Okay, so the point is that our mind is not fast, right? Our mind is not fast. Is it true that your mind is not fast? Okay, say in public when someone said that you're a stupid guy, right? So how fast is your mind works? Your mind is so fast, like the thunder, right? How many of your mind is thunder like fast? When the negative thoughts. With the negative thoughts, our mind is so effective, so spontaneous, so intense. These two, there's a distinction. Very intense, and very spontaneous, right? With the positive minds, we said, no, my mind is very slow, right? With the positive thoughts, our mind is very slow. Now the point is, we have to make our mind negativities. With the negative thoughts, our mind is so effective, so fast and spontaneous. So this is to be understood to be subdued. This very fast, spontaneous, intense negative mind has to be subdued. Yes? The fear, right? Anxiety, stress, tension, they are so fast. This is what we have to subdue. To subdue this, how to subdue this? By introducing the counterforce. What is the counterforce? Wisdom of emptiness. Forget about wisdom. Even the simple mathematics, we cannot do it fast. You agree with me? Even the simple mathematics that we cannot do fast. Right? Now with the wisdom of emptiness, it is even more complicated, even more sophisticated. So we have to make it very fast. How to make it fast? Okay. Those of us here who speak Hindi, Hindi without giving thought, very spontaneously coming out, particularly something nasty to say, right? It's so effective. The words are so effective. So how did it happen that you have such a effective language? The spontaneous, beautiful word structure, so forth. How many of you have been thinking that, so I am going to Tibet. I am going to Tibet. How many of you have to think that I have to say going, not go? How many of you have to think about this? No one. How many of you don't have to think about it? It comes very spontaneous. All of us. Now tell me, how come that when you are 3 years old, 4 years old, do you think that you're able to say all these things so correctly? No, but now you are saying everything so correctly. How come that you are able to say all these things spontaneously correctly? How? Through practice. Through practice. So therefore, number 2 that you have reached, the wisdom number 2 that you have reached. What is the wisdom number 2? Wisdom derived through reflection. This wisdom, you have to practice it over again in order to intensify it, in order to make it natural and fluent and spontaneous. So that is known as wisdom derived through meditation. You're getting it? These are the 3 wisdoms. It is only through these 3 the practice of the 3 wisdoms that we can eventually expect to introduce the counterforce, which is so effective to counteract the self-grasping ignorance, and thus all our fears will come to 0, and then we experience the maximum happiness, right? Okay, we have another 10 minutes. Any questions? Any questions? Okay, just raise your hands. One over the yes, one over there. Use your mic, others can hear it.
Yeah, you see, I was going through a very long period of illness, around 20-25 years, schizophrenia. And this is my 2nd session here. I don't know, I do a lot of other things also. I try a lot of other, like yoga, a lot of things I try. But sitting here in a sitting class, so much, I don't know how, so much has changed inside me. I don't know, it's your energy or what, or it's, I don't know, I'm not able to understand something, like it's transmitted or something. There's so a very deep change inside.
Okay, so now this
is it possible or I am mistaken?
100% is possible. 100% is possible, but how? How? This involves, while my basic outlook, many of you, particularly those of us here who have been with me for longer time, they know my thinking is very different, right? But here I am compelled to share one part which is little to do what may come under what is known as the slightly hidden phenomena, slightly hidden reality, which we cannot really understand it easily. So So because of this, what you are talking about is something very serious. So therefore, I have to bring it here. In fact, this place, His Holiness the Dalai Lama himself has paid the many visits this place. So he blessed this place a lot. One. Then number two, so many highly accomplished masters of compassion, masters of this wisdom, they actually paid visit here and gave teachings to the public many occasions since like 1974. And that for this last many years, so many of the like-minded people who appreciate compassion, who appreciate helping each other, so many people were gathered here for all these many years. And then we have been all talking about the wisdom of emptiness to subdue our fear, schizophrenic, the symptoms, all these things we've been talking, practicing, right? So the effect has been felt here. So this for sure, this is the benefit. Yes, it is very true. Yes, any more questions? Yes, with Mike.
Krishna, will you please maybe in a...
Okay, for the sake of others, introduce your name. Introduce yourself, your name clearly, if possible. What are you doing?
My name is Tithya. I used to be a journalist, but I'm currently in the process of becoming self-employed. And I've been living in Delhi for about a year. Before that, I was living in Dharamsala briefly, and before that, I was in Bombay for many years. So my request was that would you also please give some instructions on meditation before the summer holidays begin?
Okay, this is a good question. I say the instruction on meditation. This is a good point. So the Deveshta will take it seriously. Yes, people who are interested on meditation instruction, because there are so many people who are doing meditation on the basis of the book, reading books, on the basis of watching the YouTube and so forth. For the meditation, it is actually playing with your mind. Playing with the mind is very dangerous. So therefore, it must be done with a proper instruction, not just by reading books, not just by watching the YouTube, right? Okay, so that we will surely do. The point is, sees how we can fix a date, right? For those who are interested. Yeah, Dibishla, yes. Welcome. More questions? Okay. Otherwise, you may regret once you leave this hall. No questions? Okay. More questions? I will hear your name. Yes, introduce yourself.
My name is Mark. I'm living in the second year in Delhi. I'm not from India. And my question is more than maybe a small contribution, but maybe just the way this is also going in the same direction. You said it's most difficult to control the mind and to have kind of a stop, right? If negative
Thoughts.
Judgment, for example,
yes.
takes place if someone tells you you're stupid. So I heard of a path, which is, I think, a person going to the east, and was called the Jesus prayer. So in the end, it's one word that you practice so much that it automatically comes to you when you say anything negative. It's like an alarm clock. Is that also going into the direction?
Say it again.
That if you are uttering something negative in your mind, this word, it is in this case Jesus as a word, could be also different, let's say holy word, is coming to your mind to alarm you that you are thinking negative. Is this also going in this direction?
This is a wonderful thing. It is very possible. Very possible. Say it is only not just one word. Along with this one word, so many thought processes you are training. You are training that this word, I'm going to evade all other things. I'll only embrace this word. Continuously I say this, continuously say this. So in the process you are trained in many other aspects as well. That you'll keep away, distance yourself from the past bad habits of uttering the nasty words. And then if this word is holy, particularly if this word is very holy, compassion for example, compassion, compassion, compassion. This word, same word compassion, is actually mentally embodied in the form of living compassion by so many saints. So that will have effect on your mind to make your mind more calm, peaceful, compassionate, right? All these factors actually playing there. And it is very possible that your negative thoughts will come down. Now, when we speak about negative thoughts here in this class, we are talking about the gross as well as the subtle. The gross subtle meaning, what the ordinary people can identify as negative thoughts, it all comes under gross. And there is a subtle one, which the ordinary people cannot identify as a gross one, also subtle, as a negative thought. Only when you are trained to see the reality very differently, right? To see reality like a dream, then you start seeing the subtler level of the afflictions, subtler level of the disturbing thoughts. So that is the subtler. So this is, say, with this word, uttering such words can affect you to calm down your gross negative thoughts. The subtler one, you have to have the experience of emptiness, which we'll study later on. Very good question, thank you. Anyone else? Yes, Elora?
Krishna, it's a very small question. In this paragraph which you were drawing our attention, it is by the teaching, it is by teaching the truth of suchness that beings are liberated. When we do transmissions, when transmissions are done, what is doing at that time when the Guru does the...
Okay, so basically don't expect too much from what is known as transmission, empowerment and so forth. Don't expect too much for us ordinary beings, right? But effects are there. For example, say if you are with a very kind person all the time, your mind is automatically affected. It doesn't mean that you will become a Buddha simply by saying by this kind person. With the kind person, the worst of the people also there around. Sometimes, right? Generally speaking, if you are with a very kind person, you will also learn, you will imbibe this kindness. The transmission is somebody who is realized in the past. Maybe I don't have the transmission, I have the transmission, but I may not have the realization. But this word that I'm saying, it is transmitted not just from me now. It is transmitted from the past teachers like this. In the past teachers, no doubt, they are highly realized beings. So their realization experience imbued in these words being transmitted to others, they will have effect. But if you practice it yourself, then it's a real transformation will take place. Rather than expecting this thing to affect me, what you learn, you try to put into practice. Which I'm through learning, reflection, right? Don't just wait for the mystical experience to occur to you. Don't expect that, right? This is so important. But effect is there. Effect is there. That is, in fact, more refined you are, more these effects will be felt. The more gross we are, less we will feel these effects. At this stage, don't expect too much from transmissions and so forth. At this stage, we have to really work. We have to put up concerted effort. That is the best, most practical part. Any questions? One over there, one over there. Yes.
Raymond.
Introduce yourself.
My name is Raymond. And my question is that is non-duality and compassion really compatible? Because compassion would imply duality as well. There would be other...
Okay, so in fact, non-duality and compassion, how can we see these two going compatibly with each other? Right? Okay, so here what I would say is that first of all, this audience, I do want to make it the cut the audience half next time. I don't want to confuse them. For the time being, keep this question yourself for the time being. There's no contradiction between the non-duality and the practice of compassion. There's no what? There's no contradiction between the two. These two can be done. And please keep this question with you. And later on, when all the students, or we can do it personally, separately, right? And whereas if you're compassionate with others, let them grow. Then I'll just reserve this later on so that others can also enjoy this answer, right? Okay, one over there.
My name is Samaha and I am a PhD student in the National Museum Institute. We've been talking about wisdom and compassion today. So I have a very, I don't know whether it was a stupid question or an intelligent question, but like you said in the previous class, all questions are important. So, what happens to wisdom and compassion that one cultivates after one's death or when one passes away? What happens to wisdom and compassion?
This is a very serious question. In a way, the question is, how can we convince that there's reincarnation? Is this a question? Okay, in other words, the point is the immediate question and the hidden question. Immediate question is, let's say in this life, let's say we cultivate wisdom, we cultivate compassion to a great height of development. When we die, what happened to these two things? These two things will disappear or will be transmitted. You will continue with these two things in the next lives. So for that, we need to know that reincarnation is an existing phenomena. It's a phenomena that exists. Okay, reincarnation. This is a very serious question. This is what confronts almost all the ancient Indian philosophical traditions, like Samkhya, Vaisheshik, Nyaya, then Vedanta, Jainism, Buddhism, Sikhism. All these traditions have to answer this question. How can you explain reincarnation? Whether or not reincarnation exists. If yes, how can we explain this? Right? Two ways. One, logically explain it. Number two, scold it. If you don't accept it, you are very proud. And then you scold it and you are forced to accept it. So this is not the wise way. So usually, people when they cannot give the answer, they will say you are very proud. Right? And then in a way you are saying shut up. Don't ask questions. This is not a wise thing to do. Right? So the point is, how can we rationally explain that reincarnation exists? This is a very important topic, which we do as a part of the Pramana Vartika chapter 2, right? So for that, you are interested, you have to join under the master's course, next batch. Okay. Anyway, I'm just joking. So those who are really interested in this, the whole teaching on Pramana Vartika chapter 2 is available in bodhiwisdom.org. www.bodhiwisdom.org. So there, all these teachings are available. Pramana Vartika chapter 2. So there, we discuss on the reincarnation, how the reincarnation is possible. We discuss on that. Okay, any more questions? Okay, if not, is there anyone? Okay, I hope you will not regret in the end. Okay, now we will quickly do the end direction prayer. Page 278. Page 278. In the land encircled by snow mountains, you are the source of all happiness and good. All powerful, generous, thens and gods. So please remain until samsara ends. Just as the brave Manjushri and Samanthabhadra too realize things as they are. Also, I dedicate all these merits in the best way that I may follow their perfect example. I dedicate all these roots of virtue with a dedication praised as the best by the victorious ones thus gone of the 3 times, so that I might perform the noble Bodhisattva's deeds. May the Supreme Bodhicitta that is not arisen arise and grow, and may that which has arisen not diminish but increase forevermore. Chanju Senjo Remboche Magye Panam Ke Gyoroche Ke Vanyamba Nebayam Kone Kondo Pemarasho. As long as space remains, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I truly remain to dispel the miseries of the world. To the merits of these virtuous actions, may I quickly attain to the state of a Guru Buddha and lead all beings without exception into that enlightened state. I dedicate the merit thus gathered towards the realization of the deeds and the prayers of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 3 times and to the upholding of the Dharma of the teaching and realization. May I in all lives, through the force of this merit, never separate from the 4 wheels of the Mahayana vehicle and accomplish all the stages of the path, renunciation, bodhicitta, perfect view, and the 2 stages. With the wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. The path of union of emptiness and compassion is lucidly explained by the protector of both the Dharma and the beings of the snowland. You are the lotus holder Tenzin Gyatso. We supplicate you that your wishes are fulfilled spontaneously. May the operations of evil thoughts and deeds of the negative forces of humans or non-humans who have but merits through perverted prayers against the teachings of the Buddhas be truly vanquished through the part of the truth of the 3 jewels. In all my lives, never separated from the perfect gurus, may enjoy the magnificent Dharma by completing the qualities of the stages and the paths, may quickly attain the state of Vajradhara. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the Manjushri in being able to uphold the Dharma in general and the teachings of dependent origination in particular, even in the course of my life. Okay, some announcements.
There is tea this side of the hall, so if people want to have tea. And the next class will be Wednesday, 6 p.m. Okay? We'll try and announce after every class just to remind, at least in May and maybe initially August. Okay? Thank you.